I have heard people say that, if you are so bothered about your safety and about not wanting to compromise on your values, and go join some other industry. Why? Why should I? I'm here to work. I'm here to do the job that everybody else is doing. And if I'm as good as everybody else, then why shouldn't I? Why should I be subjugated because of my gender?
Malayalam cinema has been getting nationwide attention since the last 10 years or so for the strides it has been making in terms of intellectually stimulating and compelling content that doesn't shy away from shedding light on the complexities we have as a nation. This nationwide attention has led to many film industries taking notice of how much they are lagging behind in terms of the art of storytelling. However, the film industry in the last fortnight or so has gotten national attention for disturbing reasons, as several survivors have come out to expose men in influential positions in the Malayalam film industry. Through this video, I wanted to tell you the exact timeline of what has transpired in Kerala, what led to this movement, calling out predators, what this exposes about the Malayalam film industry, and more importantly, whether this will lead to a domino effect of other film industries also setting up a committee hand in hand with their own respective state governments. What happened with the Me Too movement that shook the Hindi film industry a few years ago momentarily? And I say momentarily because many of the savages that were called out by multiple victims either have been rehabilitated to the system or went away scot free. This is important to point out because many of the instances where survivors called out these individuals, it did not lead to police cases or FIRs getting registered. But in the case of the Hema committee report and what has happened just in the last few days, several FIRs have been lodged against known celebrities from the Malayalam film industry. So let's speak about this in chronological order so that you have a clear picture of the timeline of events. I equate all of these events that have taken place recently, a safe environment being created for survivors so that they can come out with their disturbing stories, call out the perpetrators of the crime, and feel protected all the way back to 2017. My introduction to Malayalam cinema happened with movies starring the likes of Prithvi Sukumaran, Fahad Fasil, Dulquer Salman, Mohanlal, and Mammootty mainly. Every time I spoke about the exceptional storytelling in the film industry, people would tell me that I am barely scratching the surface regarding the content being made since decades. As I started featuring Malayalam cinema in the Matlab Kuch Bhi episodes, because the industry also had a terrible history of regressive content, I was told to explore Dileep's filmography, an actor who created his own niche when Mammootty and Mohanlal were ruling the industry, an actor who developed a massive connection with the family audiences in Kerala, and an actor who was really appreciated as he would clown on himself in films, while main leads in the same era were mostly the alpha males who could do no wrong. In retrospect, if you explore Dileep's filmography, however, many of his tales are laced with sexism, problematic themes of abuse, and irresponsible gags regarding rape. This is an actor who became extremely popular and was powerful, having his feet in several elements of the film industry, including production, distribution, exhibition, and owning his own chain of movie theaters too. I reference a lot of my research to the consistent investigative journalism spearheaded by Dhanya Rajendran, the editor-in-chief for the News Minute. She has been speaking about the sheer injustice towards women in the Malayalam film industry for years, much before it was getting the national attention it is getting today. I would request you to see several of her podcasts and interviews on the News Minute YouTube channel. I will link them in the description box for you to check them out. In 2017, the police reported, I reference the police reported because this case is still going on. It is alleged, I very categorically state that it is alleged, Dileep orchestrated this kidnapping to teach the actress a lesson for being a catalyst to the divorce between him and his now ex-wife Manju Warrier, as information was passed to Manju about his alleged affair with Kavya Madhavan. All alleged. The case was actually not tough to crack in terms of nabbing the men who kidnapped the actress because they were quickly put into custody and some of them actually surrendered too. The struggle, however, has been in order to create a connection to Dileep in the case, especially when put into context how many people feared ever calling him out for the sheer influence he had in the Malayalam film industry. I would also in the pinned comment link you an in-depth article written by Nidhi Suresh, a senior journalist with the News Minute, that will give you an idea of not only the 2017 case, but the sheer influence of Dileep in the state of Kerala. It will provide you context about why survivors struggle so much in talking about the terrifying things that they have experienced. What's shocking is that while all these revelations were taking place in July 2017, when Dileep was in custody and he was released in October of the same year, the AMMA, the Association of Malayalam Movie Artists, thought it was fit to reinstate Dileep on the board, as they presumably did not follow due procedure while expelling him. This case in 2017 was a catalyst to lead to the creation of the Women in Cinema Collective, an organization working for women in the film industry. The Women in Cinema Collective fought tooth and nail in order to get the Kerala High Court to ensure the formation of an internals complaints committee and the strict implementation of the POSH Act 2013 in all Malayalam film production units. This was huge regarding the process of filmmaking, as it allowed for an avenue for women to complain for any gross act committed on set, as there was a sitting internal committee for each movie being shot. The formation of the Hema committee, however, has to be the collective's biggest achievement, formed in association with the state government upon requesting to the Kerala Chief Minister that the terrible conditions and instances women have experienced need to be investigated and analyzed.
See, none of us are getting any offers. Women in Cinema Collective?
Really?
Yeah, like the founding members, and the minute WCC is attached to our name, we are completely like, we are the odd ones out. The online attack, the death threats, the rape threats. It's unbelievable that the fans associations have turned into this mafia goons who attack you, and I'm kind of like, we're all scared for our lives. We're scared for our parents' lives.
What's insane, however, regarding the findings of this report is that it was submitted in December of 2019, but its findings have only been released in August of 2024, 4.5 or 5 years after it was submitted. Many members of the Women's Cinema Collective equate this to the state government allegedly wanting to bury the report, hoping that people eventually forget about it.
For the last 4.5 years, the way the government and whoever had their vested interest in keeping the report under the carpet had made us beg and grovel for it.
What's sad regarding the report submitted by the Hema committee is that of the 290 pages, around 80 pages have been redacted from the final report. Of these 80 pages, around 55 pages were directly speaking about the cases of survivors, calling out the people who caused harm to them. So none of the names of those who are called out are actually known from the report. But what seemed bleak initially has over a period of time led to instilling courage among survivors and concrete legal procedures beginning as well. But what are more of the revelations found in the report? The first is regarding the term mafia, often mentioned in the report, which references several influential individuals who essentially call the shots in the industry. Big wigs who you don't call out and never butt heads with. An unspoken rule of sorts within the industry that will decide whether someone is to become an outcast or totally blacklisted from the film industry. Basically, a group of people who unofficially call the shots, which in turn influences the unions to essentially follow suit. If the collective doesn't like someone, the union gets the picture and unofficially an actor is sidelined. This is the unofficial ban that many people assume actors like Parvathy and Prithvi Raj have dealt with in their film careers. Regarding the findings of sexual harassment in the report, it is mentioned that it is relatively unchecked and found all over. The words adjustment and compromise are terms used for actresses seeking for work, and it is almost assumed that it's the only way to get work. The report also mentions having proof of the same in terms of chats and audio clips, but this cannot be true for many of the cases as they happened more than 3 decades ago. The worst situation regarding all of this is the victim shaming that has followed, where people point fingers on the victims and say that if the working conditions are so horrible, why don't you work somewhere else? At one point of time, we should encourage a safe environment for aspiring artists. We tell them to deal with this obvious evil or go somewhere else. Just like how we discussed previously on the India is not safe video, we shouldn't ask why women stay, but should ask why men harm. What has happened since the findings have come out is that several women have come out with their stories. Director Ranjith was called out by Srilekha Mitra for a terrifying encounter that happened with her on the sets of a movie in 2009, and a case has also been filed for a terrible incident including the same director at a hotel in 2012. This led to Ranjith resigning from his position with the AMMA. Actor Siddique was also called out for his alleged inappropriate behavior by an actress that in turn led to him resigning from his position as the General Secretary of the AMMA. Meenu Munir stated that actor Mukesh asked for sexual favors in exchange for a membership of the same committee. An actor like Jayasurya was also called out for inappropriate behavior by Meenu Munir. These are all just not hearsay for social media. FIRs have been filed against actors Mukesh and Jayasurya based on the sexual assault allegations given by Meenu Munir. An FIR has also been filed against Siddique, as an aspiring female actor accused him of allegedly raping her at a hotel in Thiruvananthapuram in 2016. As I release this video, every day there are new shocking revelations that are overwhelming and honestly just heartbreaking. Concrete legal course is being taken where the men are being held accountable for their actions, and it will be in a court of law where the verdicts will be made. This is essential in an atmosphere of social media where just calling out on social media is not enough if you're seeking for justice. What's sadly also a reality is that women have undergone severe pressure and torment while pursuing cases, as it involves people with huge influence, and the snail-like nature of there being any resolution judicially makes matters even worse. There have been several resignations that have taken place by the AMMA since these revelations, including Mohanlal as the president, which Parvathy feels was cowardly.
How cowardly. How cowardly of them to step away from a position where they are now accountable to speak to media. That was an immediate cop out.
This is an evil that needed to be called out, and this active fight by the women of Kerala is of sheer resilience and bravery. This is a horrifying reality that needs to have the same structure and execution for other industries as well, working hand in hand with their respective governments and leading to a much needed legal course of action as well. Because let's not kid ourselves and believe that the filth is only restricted to the industry in Kerala. If the Malayalam film industry is leading the charge, I think it's important that other industries take notice and execute the same, because we have no idea about perpetrators who may just be thriving and have a belief that they will get away with their heinous crimes, assuming that they are above the law all their life.